How's it going, everybody? This is Dominic Minchella, joined by our other co-beat writer, Zak Gilbert. He was in the building. He's always in the building. He's our on ground, boots on the ground beat writer while I cover the podcast. Today, we're going to be talking more about the Kansas City Chiefs, kind of previewing what's to come while recapping what has already happened. So Zach was actually out in New York to watch the Chiefs game against the New York Giants. I have given you several opinions of how I thought the game went throughout the podcast over the last few days, seeing the positives with the offensive line, some struggles with the offensive lines, the stardom that is Tyquan Thornton, him stepping up in a role without Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice, and then also just kind of previewing and hoping that they can carry over this success into a home game against another AFC contender. Zach, when you were down in New York, what were the vibes like for you? What were your takeaways from the game?
Yeah, I would say right off the bat, one of the positives was they actually got a first down on their opening drive. That's something that they hadn't done all year, and something that Matt Nagy and Patrick Mahomes both said that they wanted to do. They wanted to move the chains, and they did a good job. They moved the chains on that first drive, and then they just kind of fell into this abyss of inconsistency, and it spiraled down into that second quarter where Andy Reid and Travis Kelce actually got into a little sideline confrontation there, and and then they picked it up there in that third and fourth quarter, and they came away. But the vibes were basically what I got from the Chiefs was, hey, the Giants are a team that we should beat. We're better than them. Let's take care of business and let's move on just 1 week at a time here. And that's basically what they did. And it was funny, Dom, after the game, Patrick Mahomes made some pretty pretty un-Mahomes like plays there in that first half, where he had two backward laterals, one of which he actually saved a touchdown with a heads up, just displaying his football IQ. And after the game, he was kind of poking fun at himself, and so it was a win is a win. Bottom line, they're not looking for votes in a college football poll here. This is the NFL. Wins count just the same as they would toward the playoffs. It doesn't matter the quality of the opponent you beat. It's just a win. So that's the vibe that I got coming out.
I mean, and they definitely needed it too. I think that it would have sent the whole fan base into turmoil if they started off 0-3, especially losing to no disrespect to the Giants, but they're easily by far their easiest opponent thus far in the season. One thing that I was still a little concerned about moving forward, I did a podcast on it more recently, dissecting the starting offensive line. Other than Trey Smith in that game, everyone kind of just played below average. I know Jawan Taylor has been leading the NFL in penalties. A lot of things on Twitter and the outside noise kind of wondering if you're paying Jalen Moore all this money while Jawan Taylor's making these mistakes, kind of when that change is coming. What were your thoughts on the offensive line? I know that Patrick Mahomes was able to only get sacked twice, but he evaded a lot of pressure.
Well, starting with Jawan Taylor on the right tackle, he only made one penalty during the game, but it was a significant penalty. It came on a 3rd and 12. Patrick Mahomes had just run for 14 yards and a first down, and they were moving the chains. And the officials flagged Jawan Taylor for lining up too far from the line of scrimmage, and turned a first down into a 3rd and 17. They had to settle for a field goal, and it was just part of that bad second quarter. So the rest of the offensive line, I think I would chalk that up to pretty significant defensive line on the other side of the line of scrimmage there. Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns was just incredible. I mean, he blew up those two backward laterals that I mentioned. He was the one that blew that up and got in Patrick's face, and he actually forced Isaiah Pacheco to go too deep in his screen, and that forced the backward lateral. And then Mahomes made that tackle to save the touchdown there. But I think I would chalk it up to just more so the quality of the defensive front that the Giants had in that game.
Yeah. So that is, I think that, it's always something to pay attention to for the Kansas City Chiefs this year for the offensive line as a whole, just because of it was a struggle for them last year. Going into week 4, though, they've got the Baltimore Ravens, and they're kind of both franchises at this point in the season are at or week 4 could really be a turning point. The Chiefs have lost 2 games to playoff caliber teams. The Baltimore Ravens are coming off of a kind of a kick in the foot against the Detroit Lions, who beat them on their home turf, as well as losing to the Philadelphia Eagles themselves. There is a big play here in week 4. It's going to be one of these teams has got to go 1-3. I just want to get your thoughts on what do you think a potential concern could be. And I apologize, it wasn't the Philadelphia Eagles, it was the Buffalo Bills. Excuse me.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. I would say the concern is penalties. Just sticking on that theme, the Chiefs have committed 2 full football fields worth of penalties in 3 games, and that's just too much. A lot of those are pre-snap penalties, things that they can control. Um, Take away Jawan Taylor leading the league with 7 flags, and there've been too many that they can clean up. And this is not the type of a team that commits those types of just inopportune penalties. And so I think they need to get that cleaned up. The second concern I would say is containing Lamar and Derrick Henry in the backfield there. And the Detroit Lions gave the Chiefs a great blueprint for beating the Ravens there. They really they got some good pressure on the edges, and then they were very center conscious with keeping Lamar in the pocket. They actually sacked him 7 times, which was unbelievable, and they made him pretty one-dimensional there by taking the lead in the second half and keeping the game close. So all those are great ingredients that the Chiefs can kind of build on and apply to their game plan for this game. And so I'd say the concern really to the penalties, get that cleaned up, and being able to run the ball. If the Chiefs can run the ball on this Ravens team, I believe the Ravens are 30th in the league in rushing defense, which is incredible. The Chiefs can really set themselves up for a big AFC win this week just by doing those things.
Yeah, I think that this would easily be their biggest win, not just for the opponent that they're going up against, but also the circumstances that they're facing. You are in a much better position 2-2 than you are 1-3. But if you're able to get to 2-2 by forcing another top AFC team to fall another game behind, and then they have to play catch up, I think that puts a lot of momentum, and that's kind of a win that the Chiefs need right now. While it's going to be a tall task, just given the roster construct of both franchises, I think that there is a real possibility the Chiefs are looking for that first home win of the season, and they're also riding off a win themselves, a heartbreak in Baltimore. But I do think that heartbreak in Baltimore is going to add some fuel to the fire. I think it's going to be a really, really competitive matchup, and I'm excited to get your thoughts as we get closer and when the game happens. I know that you're going to be there. It's the atmosphere is bound to be electric.
Yeah, and I really don't know what to expect in this game. There's a good chance the Chiefs would get Xavier Worthy back. Andy Reid said that mentally, Xavier was ready to play in this past game in New York, but just physically he wasn't able to get there and get the doctor's approval. So it'll be interesting to see. Rashee Rice is back in the building this week. He's not off his suspension; he's still suspended for games. Can't be on the practice field, but he is in meetings and workouts. So that's a great sign. I really don't know what to expect, but I can tell you for sure that looking back, when the season is over, I believe that this will be a pretty significant turning point in the season, either either going in the wrong direction or the right direction. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I way back when I predicted this when the initial schedule came out, I predicted that the Chiefs would actually be 2-1 at this point in the season. So they're a little bit behind the prediction. I do think though that if they're able to come away from this, it's a brand new season. You got to play with it as you got to win as much as possible in order to climb back up the AFC West and hopefully just get in another shot at the playoffs. But Zach, with that, that's going to wrap up our podcast today. Thank you so much for joining us once again. I know that a lot of people enjoy having you on with the insight that you bring.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dom. You take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Of course. As always, folks, be sure you follow me and Zach over on X. Me at Dom Minchella, Zach at Zak S. Gilbert. We post, repost every single day, game coverage as well as stories. You're not going to want to miss any Kansas City Chiefs coverage. You can also follow us over at KC Chiefs on SI over on X. Analysis, podcasts, columns, opinions, all of it. Kansas City Chiefs on SI is a place to get your Kansas City Chiefs news. As always, be kind to one another. I'll see you tomorrow. Zach will see you down the line, and have a good one.